Tabletop time. I'm Jazza.
I'm Rob.
I'm Jen.
And I'm Dave.
Welcome to our storytelling experience that we're going to be sharing with you guys.
Today we'll be playing some games in the world of Grimm's Fairy Tales. And we're doing this on a platform known as YouTube. But if you like our content, you can also check out our podcast.
Yeah, and we're doing this live on Twitch. So if you want to join future live streams, we actually have a new stream time, which is very exciting. But all the details are in the description. So go check it out. We'll be starting our first chapter in the new major campaign very soon.
And lastly, I want to thank Black Magic, our sponsor. We wouldn't be here in its brilliant quality and, anywhere near as good as it can be. They've sponsored us through not only the hardware they've given us, but also all of our editing is done on DaVinci Resolve, which is their software. It's free, so make sure you check out Black Magic and their products and their software. It's great.
Awesome. I'm so pumped. I'm so excited. I feel like this feels like our first established one shot in the new studio with it, because we've got the setup, we've got the time ready to go. It's like,
and I'm excited to say what could be, or what looks like it'll be, the more regular occurrence. We asked our fans, we asked our patrons what they really love in one shots, and I think overall in the comments we saw a lot of people were really enjoying the sort of roughly 5 hours of roleplay, like that 3 or 4 episode mini campaign sort of thing, rather where we can get a little bit deeper with the characters and journey. Yeah. This will be the first one, so we're going to be doing probably 4 episodes of this one, give or take, depending on how the story goes. So
cool. And by the time this comes out, there should be the next stream will be like in a couple of weeks, so you'll be able to watch the 2 episodes before the next stream where we play the final 2 parts. So definitely follow us where you want to follow us if you want to follow us live. So I guess it's now time to jump into a new world.
Yes, we are jumping into the world of, dark fantasy, Grimm's Fairy Tales. So in this world, it is effectively a 15th, 16th century era current world, but as if fairy tale things were normal and expected. So they're not, commonplace, but as humanity pushes out into the frontiers of the world and grows and becomes more populated, they are becoming a more commonplace occurrence. And as knowledge and people spread, and they slowly begin to adopt more organized religions of the world, they are forgetting the folklores and the old stories and the old things of the world. And in doing that, humanity is coming into far greater conflict. Now, that is not to say that fairy tale creatures are necessarily a problem, but today, the players of our games certainly believe that they are. But they are playing as members of, are you all established members?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I was going to be if it's easier,
you can be fresh. No, because I've allowed for that.
Okay, cool.
So, but are going to be opening and fighting or getting alongside the GRIMM gang. And the GRIMM gang are a group of people who believe that they have been wronged by fairy tale creatures, and their core belief is that the world would be better off without them. And they're not necessarily met with, praise everywhere. There are people who maybe their child's sickness was cured by a fawn in the woods or something like that because they adhered to the old ways. So there's positive things. It's not all evil. Yeah. But you guys believe it is.
So we would believe that the fawn is evil.
Yeah. Because humanity is better off without them.
Cool. All right.
They're all.
So we're the bad guys.
Well, not necessarily.
It's just a firm belief.
Even the fawn that heals the sick child, the child sprouts horns and hooves. Yeah. Okay. But they live. Yeah. And then it's kind of like, well,
we lose our humanity.
It's not necessarily. There's a lot of belief that like the bargain, the fey bargain, is always comes at a price, and it's not always. Yeah. So it's just like, do you take the leprechaun gold and then get the curse later? Who knows? Yeah,
it's like this. It's like the deal with the devil, essentially.
Yeah, but you don't. It's not necessarily. No one knows. No one has enough centralized information to say with any certainty anything.
Cool.
Yeah,
I love it. I love the mystery and the unknown about it.
Who are you guys playing?
Do you want to go first? Yeah.
So I am playing Helga. Her little bit of her backstory is she was a cook first, and she used to bake all types of things, and then she lived very close to a forest where the goblins would come into their town and kind of ransack it a little bit. And one day they came in and they really wanted all these delicious cookies that she bakes, and they actually locked her into an oven So my character has a huge phobia of ovens and fire, but she got herself out, luckily, and is just ready to kick some butt. So she joined the Grimm gang, and she's worked very hard to put an end to this. She doesn't want it anymore. These people don't belong here, and they're just nasty. So to give my character some visual representation, I'm going for a Miss Trunchbull from Matilda's sort of vibe, where she's more strong woman than like your Pilates girl. And she has a bowler, I believe that's what it's called. Yeah, so the two like shot puts on her chain, and she can do some serious damage with them.
How's she dress?
Very again, strong woman sort of style, where she would she'd cover herself up more. Maybe has like a belt with a long coat on. Cool. And just keeps warm.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah,
probably you'd get a lot of very odd looks.
Yes, yes.
You know, in this time, in this era, you'd be almost like, why, go in a circus, strong woman in the circus.
Yeah,
what is this? Like that
100%.
kind of thing. You dress like a man. That sort of stuff.
I fit more into the baker aspect, but now that I've become strong woman, it's kind of a bit of a weird visual representation. So that's
love it.
People weren't as cool back in the day.
Cool. All right. Bryn, which is short for
Brynjolf, the woodcutter. So Brynjolf is a quite old man. He's 61, and in his early years, and for most of his life, he was a woodcutter. As he was settling down to start his family, unfortunately, they were tragically killed by a werewolf, to which he came home from a long day of woodcutting and found their broken remains, and had vowed at that point, cradling the crushed and ripped remains of his only daughter, he vowed to take revenge on all magical folk or magical creatures. Unfortunately, in his hunt to kill the monsters, he became a monster.
Oh.
So he's quite tall. He's very shaggy. He's got long hair, a long beard, haunted dead eyes, and he's very dirty, covered in dried blood, does not wear a shirt, literally just like woolen pants. And everywhere he goes, he carries, almost dragging behind him, this old, dirty, chipped axe.
So he looks like a fairy tale, dark version of a woodcutter.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
So cool. I am Wolfgang. I'm a toy maker. This is my profession. I have a dark story too. My wife, whom I loved, perhaps didn't tell her enough, left me for a prince. My child chased the gingerbread man off the cliff and died. That's entirely not true though, because my character has a delusion that is his history. But actually what happened is his wife, who he didn't pay much emotional attention to, left for a much more empathetic and attractive and well-off man. And at the moment that they declared their love to each other in front of him with their child between them at the top of a cliff on a beautiful day on the sunset, rather than falling off the cliff or chasing the gingerbread man, the mother and this new man invited him to go with them, and he did. And so Wolfgang has convinced himself he has this delusion that is the fairy tale creatures. The gingerbread man killed his son. The prince from this storybook style world, and maybe it was a phase sort of prince.
The prince, and the actual man was a baker.
Yeah.
So that's the gingerbread man connection, is that
Oh,
he
so-
ran off with the gingerbread man
Cool.
because he smells like ginger and spices because he
Yeah.
always cooks baked goods.
I love it. Cool. So Wolfgang has drowned his sorrows. He battles with alcoholism. He is very, very stern and unemotional, and he escapes through his toy making. He's a brilliant craftsperson with his hammer and chisel, which were he to ever get into a scuffle, meet a fantasy creature, he would use them in different ways. But even though he is incredibly harsh and stern, his toys are incredible and no one makes them better. So people actually have so far sort of looked around it, and the children would go in there, they'd be terrified, but they want those beautiful toys. And there is this part of his soul deep, deep down that is very buried, that when he's crafting the toys, that is his soft place. That is when he actually can be, but no one ever sees it, and he will never show anyone because that is his secret. He's not safe. He doesn't feel like he can be that. So that is Wolfgang, and he has not joined the Grimm gang yet, but he has heard about them and is That sounds like something I can get behind.
Cool.
Maybe he's feeling like he needs to get some energy out. Get some revenge, yeah.
Well, are we ready to start?
I think we are. Take it away.
All right. I've got a yawn coming. I'm going to get that out of the way. This is the pain of me streaming at the earlier time is I'm a night owl. So I'm like, oh my God, I've had my coffee. I've got to like power up for the morning session.
You just made hundreds of people yawn. Well done.
Now you've said yawn, I got to yawn again. Oh, okay. So, our tale begins in the village of Hamley. It is a frontier town, but it has been developing over the last 2 decades. It pushes back into an old dark forest with wood axe and lumber mill, cutting it down and making way for human development, human innovation. 2 nights ago, a caravan arrived, a wagon with squeaking wheels and a hodgepodge of sort of accoutrements draped upon it, strange pelts and just a very eclectic looking wagon pulled into town. About a half dozen people piled out of the wagon and strode into the small inn of the town. They were clad in leather cloaks and weaponry, crossbows on their back, axes dragged behind them. Altogether a disturbing sight for the townsfolk of Hamley. But their reputation preceded them. People knew they were the GRIMM gang. They were the fixers. They were the bringers of normality through darker means. They would get rid of anything that ailed the people of Hamley. They'd come, as they often do, travelling from town to town on the borders, looking to see if anyone had had anything amiss. And Wolfgang had noticed them arrive. They'd been in town for 2 nights, moving between houses, gaining stories, learning, and he had eventually been drawn to them. And at one night, he has seen the local inn, and there's a cry, a scream, and a yelp, and then sobbing. And Wolfgang, out on his evening stroll, heads towards, drawn by the allure of this chance of a gang that could potentially give him revenge against these things. And he spots, and he approaches. And out the front, called into a meeting from wherever they were in the town, are 2 members of the GRIMM gang. Other members have been dispatched, leaving only the chapter master and the remaining 2, which are of course Helga and Bryn, who stand out the front of this tavern, about to enter. You rock up.
Slightly
Wolfgang.
tipsy and trying to walk it off. Wolfgang approaches, very curious. For the last few days, he has wanted deep within him to ask or to learn about it, because seeing the GRIMM gang in town makes him painfully aware that making toys doesn't solve the problems that have been tearing him up inside. And he approaches, he says, "You this GRIMM gang that I hear about?"
We've been known as that.
Tell me about how you solve problems. These creatures, these things that don't belong here.
I heft my axe onto my shoulder with the blade.
You look much more capable than I am. I'm not sure how I could be of any help, but I want to be.
I kind of look at the leader that's with us.
Well, they're inside. You know, you're
they're
actually just
inside.
arriving to go in and meet with them.
Oh,
They said you might have a job.
well, why not come in with us?
Very well. And I follow.
The door opens. This particular in-house has sort of a wet entry where you would walk in and take your raincoat off, take your boots off if they're really muddy and dirty, and then there's a door that heads in. Sitting in this entry is a woman, a townswoman that you recognize. The town is large enough that, you know, it's not like you know everyone intimately. You know her. And she's sobbing into her hands, but the door is open a creak to lead into the tavern, and an eerie light is coming out from inside. The two of you do not know this woman, and you do not care.
Do I?
You don't know her well. You've seen her around the town, but
Does she have children?
she is known. Yes, she does.
Have I seen her children? Is that how I know her?
Maybe, yeah, sure. One of them's peeked in, but she seems very upset. I'm going to get you to make a general knowledge check.
Okay.
Challenge level
one.
would not have been one. So I should have said it beforehand, but challenge level would not have been one. No, you've been drinking. Nothing springs to mind.
Do we notice the telltale signs of someone whose life has been impacted?
Yeah, and you don't care. You assume.
Oh, but there's work there potentially, right?
In the sense that, like, this is normal. So you know that you've been called in to meet with someone. So it's not your role to, like, interrogate, unless you're told to. You assume that if this woman is sitting there crying, that she's already explained what's going on, and you guys are just being called into the boss to, like, talk to get the job.
So we'll
basically.
just
I'm
go.
just going to walk in
Yeah,
there. Yeah,
cool.
What is Wolfgang doing?
I follow curiously, with trepidation. I feel like I've been useless. I feel like I have wanted a sense of purpose that I've lost, and I have dreams and nightmares about this cackling, laughing, high-pitched gingerbread man in the distance. You can't catch me, and the look of my child as he's falling off the cliff, and I'm reaching out to grab him, and I can't. Maybe this will make the dream stop.
Oh. The door creaks open and you all stride into the room. The large area, the open area of the tavern is extremely open but completely dark, save for a flitting light. There's a small lantern-sized iron mesh object in the middle of the room, and there is like a wild dancing light that's casting deep shadows and flickering about from that source. All the other lights and torches and fires in the room are out, and all the furniture of the room has been pushed up against the walls and away from the central table.
Is anyone else in the room?
Make a perception check. Challenge level 3.
I haven't rolled dice in so long. That's there we go. What was it, 3?
Yep.
4, 6.
You notice the telltale sign leaning up against the wall of your leader.
Cool. Walk straight over to him.
Her.
Sorry. Them.
So you just bypass the table and walk straight over to them?
Yep.
You both do. Bryn does as well. What do you do, Wolfgang?
From a slight distance.
Is this strange thing in the middle of the room flittering around and creating light you're not interested in?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm pretty freaked out by everything at the moment. I have interacted with the world from a distance and minimally. So I'm sort of not sure about the right opportunity to speak up, but I'm hyper aware of everything right now. As far as I can be, slightly tipsy.
Okay. So you're keeping your distance?
Yeah, nervous.
Cool. So the two of you walk past the table and over. And as you sort of are clearly doing that, the figure leans off the wall. You hear the crinkle of leather as like a leather coats and gloves unfurl, and they take a few steps forward until they're standing before the table in the center of the room, and they're occasionally being lit by this light from inside it. And you see the sallow, older face of a woman who seems to be approaching about 60. She's tall. She's around 6 foot tall, which is very tall for a woman, especially of this era. And she's built unusually powerfully, although with Helga in our group, not as powerfully as Helga is built. And you both know her to be Vilomar, and she's the leader and founder of the GRIMM gang.
Viloma.
Vilomah. Viloma. And she is a extremely competent leader and extremely direct. She strides forward, and a woman of few words. She strides forward to the table, and then her eyes dart to Wolfgang, who is the newcomer in the room.
Sort of like nervously shift my gaze, feeling a little bit intimidated by present company. I had thought I wanted to introduce myself and volunteer my services. Everyone I'm facing looked incredibly capable and weathered, and I'm wearing my toy maker's uniform, which is, you know, some bright blues and gold trimmings and like looks like as neat as in this grubby little town can be. I'm like the neat, stern one, with a highly trimmed beard, and I'm willing to get my hands dirty, but I'm aware that I don't look like that and I don't look experienced, so I don't say anything. I just sort of awkwardly.
You.
Yeah.
Man. What brings you here?
I have heard of your organization, and I'm interested in offering my services.
A local townsfolk. Did you know Esme?
And her hand gestures to the door in a crinkle of leather.
Not particularly, no.
So, why? Why seek us out?
Like the images flash in my mind, and I can sort of cough and straighten up and holding back tears.
My child was killed by one of these creatures. My wife was taken by a vile fantasy prince. This is unnatural. It is not of this world, and I want it gone, and I want to be a part of making it go.
Then, you and I are of like mind. Have you seen these creatures?
Every night in my dreams.
Well, the best dreams are the dreams that end with a bright dawn.
And she reaches forward and pulls the top off this iron cage, and the flitting light reveals itself and brightly comes out of the top. As she does, she pulls deliberately the leather gloves one finger off at a time of one of her finger, and then pulls her glove off. And a small creature, looks feminine with wings, flits up out of the thing, and it's a fairy.
I would like to heft my axe in preparation.
You heft your axe in preparation.
Like, angrily. I won't do anything without orders.
But
I
it
don't
is
like it.
almost unnecessary. There is a very soft, instantaneous feminine voice, a tiny voice that comes, a squeak from this fairy that is immediately cut short by the backhand of a leather glove held in. The fairy is struck onto the table with immense force, and then, before it has a chance to move, stand, or adjust its posture, Viloma's second hand comes down like a hammer, still gloved, and crushes the fairy onto the table. There is a final squeak and the sound of tiny bones breaking. Blood sprays out onto the table. The light blinks out.
I would like to scoop the remains of this fairy into a small glass jar that I keep at my waist.
She allows you to. Viloma trusts and respects you and is used to your particular eccentricities.
Joins the collection of...
Eccentricities are very welcome in the Grimm gang.
I'm going to lean to Wolfgang and be like, she is good, no?
Yes.
And my eyes are bright. The feeling of elation watching this. I'd never seen one of these creatures in real life with such clarity. And when it was crushed, my soul felt like a piece of it was acknowledging that this is where I need to be.
Good. You do not shy away from what needs to be done. It looked sweet. The way it takes our form to trick us, to trick our children. Have you heard the tales of fairy dust?
Speak them to me.
Dust that can make you fly. A dream of men and women since the dawn of time to fly. And yes, it's true. Fairy dust, flight. It is true, as Esme so learnt when her husband was lured by this creature into the woods and gifted the fairy dust and the gift of flight. But alas, the fairies so often don't tell you that the gift of flight is a fleeting one, and now Esme needs a new husband and a new roof.
It's unnatural.
I'm gonna spit on the ground, like disgusted after she said that.
I pull out a chisel. I keep a set of chisels and my hammer on me at all times, incredibly sharp, and I slam it into the table. I'm like,
Tell me where you want me.
Well, call it a trial then. We have a new job. And I need you to do it while I stay in town and collect more information. The others are off on the job, so it falls to you. As is so normal with these foul creatures, they appear to be preying on our children once again. This town has had a child go missing 2 months ago. Think nothing of it. It's a frontier town. Children are, by and large, soft in the head, and they are often likely to die. One child lost in the woods is normal. A second? That raises questions. And a month ago, well, there was a second. And a day ago, well, a day before we arrived, 2 more. A boy and a girl, brother and sister.
That explains the slow in business.
You just hear the creak of the leather of my gloves as I clench the haft of my axe.
I do not know too much, and I will leave this to your investigation. Find out what you will. Find them however you can.
2 children. Brother and sister, perhaps?
Yes, indeed. Their family lives in town. You could ask around and find out more, I'm sure.
can I make a general knowledge to see if I know who they are?
Yeah, they've gone missing a couple of
yeah.
days ago.
So challenge level.
Challenge level 2. It's fairly decent news, but you've been drinking around.
No,
So
I'm
you've
too
been,
hazy.
You've been too focused on your work and drinking in the evenings to have paid attention to local rumour.
No.
Well, investigation gathering is part of our business. Do you need anything before you go, or can I trust you'll get the job done?
I don't think so.
Normal supplies, I guess.
Find the children is good, but kill what did this to them is better.
Come to my
Yeah.
shop. Perhaps we can make a plan.
Good. I'll be here cleaning my gloves.
I lead them through the streets with a stern, brisk walk, a little wobblier than consciously I would like it to be, trying to represent myself well and be a host and also get my sharpest, strongest chisels and sharpen things up a bit. And on the walk, I sort of turn to the others and say,
How long do these plans need to take shape in? Would it be worth knocking on doors tomorrow or seeing how business flows and questioning the townspeople?
What is the time?
It's like 7 p.m. Dark.
I mean, I would just be keen to go to the edge of the forest and look for tracks.
did your character say that?
No, I'll probably follow Helga's lead.
Bryn, can you make a perception check? Challenge level 3.
We could do some
Oh, you're bad at
investigating.
perception.
2.
Perhaps.
2 successes, cool. You don't notice anything.
I get my sharpest chisels and blah, 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 and grab a sharpening file and a few other bits and pieces that I would have as a worker and sort of stand at the door and say,
Well, I guess now you are my host. You tell me how you need me. I will obey.
I'm going to just put my hand out to you and say, Helga, it's nice to meet you.
Wolfgang, or Wolf. And you are
Bryn,
Bryn.
Bryn is not much of a talker.
do you have silver?
Some.
Bring it.
I nod, walk back in my shop, the cling of the bell behind me. I enter, I re-emerge. How much silver do I have?
You're a toy maker. I'm going to say you have some silver for intricate stuff, but not a particularly large amount, but more than most people would have.
Yeah.
So what particular, you have some silver coins.
Just a mix.
You might have, just some random bits of bits and bobs, trinkets.
Yeah. Am I playing footsies with you? Sorry. I re-emerged from the shop and with a very casual, sort of intentionally uninterested expression. But I think probably from what you could hear when I went in the shop and came back out, I was scurrying around everywhere, scrambling to get every piece of silver I could find as quickly as possible because this is my chance to make a good impression and actually be helpful. You asked for silver.
Do you want to make a destiny roll?
Yeah, okay. I got a 5.
Yeah, so pretty much what I said is
Okay, cool.
Just a few scraps and coins and stuff.
And I come out with a bag and it's clear that some of it has bits of wood splintered that are still attached to it and some are coins, and it's clear that I just got silver that I knew from everywhere in the shop and put it into a bag, and I hold it up.
Is this what you're looking for?
Any silver is useful.
Very well. It's yours.
I pocket it. I don't know what I use it for, but
Killing werewolves.
Yeah.
I look at Helga expectantly.
Perhaps we go investigate the forest.
You investigate wherever you like to.
Let's go to the forest.
So you're looking for a boy and a girl. That is all you know at this stage.
I would like to look for small tracks using my survival, if possible.
Yeah, you can make a survival check. Challenge level with no information. Challenge level 4.
Damn.
You have a cursory look around the town, but given the dark state of everything and the fact that the town isn't tiny, there's a lot of ground to cover. And you have a feeling that without a more precise area or maybe the light of day, you will have trouble finding tracks.
Okay. We'll just scout the town out, I think, and just you'd show us where everything is. Can't imagine it's a huge town.
Yeah. It's a brief
It's
tour.
it's bigger than you'd think.
Okay. Yeah. Then maybe we just go the major sort of routes and stuff, and then we'll head back, I think.
Have I played a Wolfgang before?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Someone in chat says here goes Jazza with Wolf again. I'm like, have I done that?
Maybe you keep saying Wolf or Wolf interchangeably. I don't know.
Wolf was the pet wolf from
Pet
Holy
wolf.
Heroes.
Oh, was it? Okay. All right, cool. Just checking. All right, I'm clean. Because I remember that was
Yeah.
not
fine.
Wolfgang. Anyways. Cool. Brief.
Do you have lodgings?
You can stay at my place for the night. I have some bedrolls spare. In case of company.
I will.
Which clearly I've never had.
I will stay in room with no fire.
Very well.
And I lead into the upstairs of the toy shop, get out the bedrolls, unclip, and it's clear they're dusty, never been shared, and everything is. I'm just going to say everything is pristine, obsessively clean.
Yeah. Cool.
So you guys are going to bed?
Yep.
I'm gonna stay up,
Okay.
but get minimal. I imagine I'm quite well rested, but want to sleep for a minimal amount. So I want to stay up till 12 o'clock.
You want to get up at dawn, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you going to do in that time?
Literally just start looking out, seeing if I can hear anything or see anything. Just that's probably about it.
And Rob?
I kind of want to go for a stroll on the edge of the woods with my axe, just looking, seeing it. Not looking for the children, just looking for anything fey.
Okay. Make a perception check. Challenge level is secret.
0.
Okay. You definitely don't spot anything fey. You wander the perimeter of the town. You occasionally pass what looks like a militia, you'd say, more than a guard. Someone who maybe wasn't part of a guard but has now become one with a torch. There are actually several of them on the outskirts of the town. Probably every 100 meters there's a lone guard with a torch sort of looking out into the woods, which ordinarily wouldn't be there.
Can I ask them if they know where the children were located in the town, where they might have gotten off to?
You can do anything you want. It's a role-playing game. It's true.
I would like to approach them as I go past them and
Okay.
just curtly be like, The kids that went missing, were they from near here?
You know what? He just knows.
Okay.
Yes. Make a. I'm going to get you to make a persuasion check. Challenge level 2. Just for this guy to even want to talk to you because you look terrifying. So this isn't. You're not trying to convince him to do anything except for just reply to you in a normal way.
I like the idea that my character just has this aura of darkness around him.
Aura of dread, I was going to say.
Ooh.
Critical success.
Yeah.
Okay. He looks at you and he's like, "You're one of the Grimm gang."
Yes.
And you wanted to know about the kids for they were around here?
Yes.
They were locals. Well, the latest ones, I'm guessing. The other poor sods are probably dead. Yes, Theodore's kids. And to think they just live over there.
Yeah, I'm assuming he gestures.
He gestures to a house.
And did the kids play near the edge of the forest?
All the kids do. I mean, what else is there to do around here?
Is there any particular area they would congregate?
They play chasing games all over the shop. Although, not so much lately. Their parents are keeping them inside. Or at that toy maker's place.
Okay. I keep a mental note of this area and then continue my stroll.
Cool. What are you doing?
I'm staying up. I don't hear anything now.
You're in the house.
Yep.
You're just sitting inside.
Yep.
Okay. You don't hear anything.
Yeah.
Well, then it's just Bryn out.
Oh, eventually I'll head back,
Okay.
sharpen my axe before I go to bed, and then get a few hours in.
I will have lent you a very fresh and efficient sharpening stone.
I appreciate that.
I have nightmares.
Okay.
I'm assuming you have.
So
like,
the
your own
night
bedroom.
passes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I roll a destiny roll and get a 2.
That's not good for us.
That's not good.
Cool.
I mean,
It's the right setting for it to happen, though.
I'm not going to tell you what's
No,
going on, but
sure.
maybe when there's a couple of missing children, time is probably a critical thing, and
Yeah.
going to bed for 8 hours and having a nice nap is probably not the best for their
hey,
future.
We're resting up. There's a lot of work to do. That needs energy.
I said dawn. Well, you said dawn, but yeah, that's what I can.
Dawn is generally 8 to 10 hours after 7 p.m.
Okay.
8 to 10 hours at night time in a cold forest for 2 small children.
What have we done?
Children are resilient.
Yeah, they're fine.
They bounce.
They'll be fine. Yeah, they're squishy. Oh, wait, that can be bad.
Okay, so the morning comes. Sunshine comes up.
I have a very boring breakfast prepared. It's very neat.
Do we?
Oats.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just
Nice.
pass it to you, and it's something we can take on the road. It's like just some toast and bread, or like some not stale bread, but just bread and
What is
bland.
this?
It's hospitality.
I nod, and I like head to the door. I'm like,
I believe we have places to go. You went for a wander last night. What did you discover?
I know where the kids lived. We should search the area of the forest around them. Around that house.
Yeah.
Describe it to me.
It was dark.
You could lead them there.
Yeah, I'll just lead them there.
So you lead them to the house or the
Yeah.
area near it. Okay.
The house. We'll go to Theodore, who I'm assuming is the parent.
You're standing. Okay. You arrive at the front of a rather decrepit looking, very impoverished home.
I'd like to heftily bang on the door.
I'm going to get you to make a strength athletics check.
Challenge level.
This won't have a challenge level, but I am very curious to know what you get.
I missed the dice. What a shocking roll.
okay. So the door survives.
The door
knock.
survives. yeah, it was. The house is so destitute that if you'd rolled high, you're just going to hit the door. It was going to break.
I almost critically failed. I only got 1 success.
So you knock on the door like a normal person, and the door doesn't shatter. And after a hesitant period of time, the door pulls open and a gaunt and incredibly thin-looking man looks out at you with like sunken eyes.
Hello? What can I do for you? Theodore.
He looks behind him and he's like, "Oh, yeah?
Good morning.
Good morning.
We are here from organization. We have come to help. Your children, they've gone missing.
Yes. Oh, terrible, terrible.
Tell us more, please. I'm going to get him to sit down as well and gesture and get us comfortable and stuff.
You are brought inside. Can I get you to make perception check, challenge level 2?
All of us?
Bryn seems to be the one. Helga seems to be the one that cares the most. So. 1, 2 successes. All right. So as you come in, you notice that this household is extremely poor. There's like a thin old rug with holes in it. It's thrown across a single large bed. There's no evidence of any kind of like toys, or it's like a one-room house with a stovetop in the middle that would heat the house, and there's a loaf of sort of semi-eaten bread with a crusting of mold on it and a rusty knife next to it that you can see has been used to scrape some of the mold off, and it's still being eaten, and that's the only sign of food you see in the house.
Does the town seem pretty plentiful, or is it?
No,
everyone is pretty.
It's mixed.
Yeah, okay.
Food. It's not. It's a forest frontier town, so if it's not much agriculture here, but like if the hunting season is poor, people go very hungry.
Yeah, okay, no worries. Your children.
Yeah.
Tell me about them.
They were bright little kids, I guess.
And the night they disappeared.
Yeah. They were just outside. We never saw them. They ran away, I guess.
You were asleep?
No, we were inside, making a meal.
Did you smell scent of cookie, ginger, perhaps?
Oh, I wouldn't know what that smells like. It's been so long.
Were they chasing something?
Oh, well, that's what kids do, isn't it?
Like nod to myself like, this gingerbread man.
Do we see other rooms, or is it just a big open one with like a sleeping pallet for the kids?
It's a big open room.
Okay, but do the children have bedrooms?
No, it's a one-room house. So you assume they either would have slept on the floor or slept probably more likely in the same bed as their parents, as is fairly standard.
Is it and it's just him, yeah?
In the house currently,
Yeah.
yes.
Where is your partner, assuming?
She's probably foraging, trying to find some berries or something, I guess.
In the forest as well?
Well, that's where berries are.
Interesting.
Maybe she's off, crying with the women's group.
I kind of lean into you a little bit and say, this does not seem like a very productive town. Look, we are interested in your case. We would like to help.
Make a perception check, all of you.
1.
That was a good roll. That was 5.
Yes.
You're very keen right now. Ah!
That's a
Oh, I
2.
did pretty good too. I got 3.
Okay, so Wolfgang notices that Wolfgang and Helga noticed that this guy seems a little bit not affected by the loss of his children. And Helga just further notices that he seems to be lying.
I too have lost a child. It deeply affected me.
I shouldn't laugh, but the fact that he's like delusional, it's like, I was like sympathizing with people whose children are actually dead. It's like, dude, your child is fine.
It's just one
He's probably better off
house.
without you.
It breaks my heart every night. I can't imagine the pain you're going through, but having lost 2, you seem numb to this.
I guess I haven't processed it fully, right?
I mean, with 2 less mouths to feed, I understand that could be interesting. Anyway.
I'm not the smartest person, but have I picked up on the fact that these 2 are dubious?
No. With one on your perception roll. Okay. You're just like, whatever.
No, but from what they're saying, you seem numb.
They just seem overly engaged in it.
Okay.
You're oblivious even to that context. Maybe you're like too busy sharpening your axe or something. Like, why aren't I killing something right now?
Your children's names.
Ansel and Gretel.
Good names. I like.
They were good kids.
They seemed the playful type. I believe I recall them.
Upon hearing their names, you remember 2 rather dirty-looking children in hand-me-down, hole-filled clothes, pressing their greasy hands against your window and never coming in. They've never stepped in your building.
Okay.
But you have a feeling that they never stepped in because they knew they'd never be able to buy anything in there.
Gotcha.
Well,
I believe this is all the information we will get here.
I believe so too. Thank you, Theodore.
Okay.
We will be back.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
We will be back.
Please don't do that.
We will be.
My wife is grieving, and I think it'll be best if you leave us alone.
We will be back. And I stand up intimidatingly.
I like how pushy out. No, yeah.
We're coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you soon, buddy.
And I'll walk out.
And not going to press the situation, just leaving?
I think I know what the situation is pretty clear, but we'll see how we go. And I try not to break their door.
So you think you know what the situation is, but you're not going to press it. You're just going to let it be.
Yep.
Okay. You leave.
Unless anyone else wants to do.
I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
If you go outside and Helga tells you, obviously, it will make sense.
He referenced the women's group or something.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know what that is?
You feel that was just deflection.
Okay. So I turn to Helga and say,
There's like was kind of like just a generally dickish husband thing to say. Like there's no such thing as like a unproductive women's group.
It is clear this man has no idea what his wife is feeling or where she is, and seems to have no concern for his children, having lost them very recently.
Tell me, is this a common occurrence in your town?
Children being lost? Mm-hmm. Becoming more common, it seems. There are less and less children in my shop, and I am a very obliging host.
Yes. It seems as if the occurrence of these beings that we despise so much are very convenient excuses.
You think he's lying?
is there anything I can
100%.
impart as far as insight to the state of the town? Hunger, perhaps, general, like, the struggles, have they been getting worse or better, or like what can I
now that you
offer
think
here?
about it, you would say that it's winter. It's approached winter. It's not full winter, and it hasn't been as good a harvest. A lot of the harvest, like imports of food, were diverted to other towns through various reasons, but the town didn't get the same shipment. And the hunting season has been actually a little worse than usual. So people are struggling right now.
Is there a correlation that I might be able to figure out between the children that have gone missing and the families who have been struggling the most?
You'd say that the two children that have gone missing beforehand had bought things from your store, which generally suggests middle class. So the two previous ones, you have no reason to think that they were particularly poor.
I share this information.
I mean, I asked Jen if I thought the dude was lying, and she said yes. I mean, I asked Helga.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to kick open the door and go back in with my axe.
Okay. The door kicks open. You don't have to roll for that. It actually splinters off the frame and you burst in. Theodore looks with wide eyes. He grabs the rusty knife on his table and brandishes it towards you.
I'm going to walk towards him and literally just smack it out of his hand.
You don't even need to roll combat. As you approach aggressively, he like faintly offers to proffer it, like toward you, but he's backing up the whole time. He clearly has zero confidence in actually getting in a fight, and you easily disarm him.
Why are you lying?
I'm going to get you to.
Are you in league with them? And I heft my axe.
Oh God, I'm going to get you to roll Destiny. See how this is going to go.
Oh, that was 4. That looks like an 18 on the camera. That was a 4.
He falls against the wall and slides down onto the floor and looks up at you, and he's just like, "No, what? League with whom?
The creatures.
No,
monsters.
God, no. What do you want? Leave me alone."
Why are you lying? What are you not telling?
Nothing.
While this is happening, I'm going to make a perception check around the room. We're in the middle of the room now. So I want to look for anything that seems a little out of place for the standard of living I would expect them to have in this house. What's the challenge level for something like that?
3. That's a pretty specific.
Okay. I got 2. I'm going to use a destiny point.
Okay. You succeed by using your destiny point. There is nothing. If anything, they are poorer than you would have thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean up against the door and like whistle at you and be like, "It's not worth our time."
I'm
He
afraid
looks at
he's
you with
entirely
wide eyes.
useless.
I will be back.
Have you got a let me have a think. I want
Like intimidation.
intimidation.
Well,
I want to say intimidation by stature, but it's not a thing.
Strength?
you could. I mean, you could do persuasion with a strength base, but
skills, or do you just take
Woodcutter, axe, and woodsman.
Okay.
you could assist persuasion with your vocation skill.
Yeah, you can persist. You could do okay, I'll get you to make a persuasion check, but you can assist with your combat skill.
Cool.
Minus the weapon, so 8 dice.
Makes sense. That's cool.
And the challenge level for this is a total challenge level for this will be 4. So this is your assist.
1, 2, 3, 4. So you get +1 to your
So +1 automatic
roll.
win.
And my persuasion
I was
is
hoping
3.
that was going to be better.
So you've got to get 3, and then you get +1. So no.
Critical fail. +1 success.
No,
not
so
really.
not a critical fail because of the +1 success. You brandish it, and he whimpers a little bit, but he doesn't give up any information.
We're like harassing the most vulnerable and wounded people in the town.
I was only minorly harassing them.
Yeah. Giant man with an axe standing over the whimpering body on the floor.
He knows something, and I know he knows something.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get it out of him.
Without escalating your violence, it doesn't seem like he's going to let anything. Like threat alone is not going to.
Perhaps there is nothing left but to go into the forest and look for where they went missing.
I indicate at the open door.
He looks very feeble.
I'm really tempted to pick him up and bring him with us
Yep. Okay.
as like a human shield for bait.
What would your character do?
Well, knowing how I reacted to the loss of my child, I'm probably quite pissed off the fact that he's being so meek.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty similar, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't protest if you happened to do
Yeah,
that.
me, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
I'll leave him,
Okay.
Oh, we're this close. All right.
but I will be back.
Is this way?
And I head out the door and towards the forest.
Cool. I'm going to roll Destiny as you head towards the forest.
Fuck me, those rolls are bad.
Now, I
9 was the roll.
being a local, I think know the bits of the forest that are known and bits that are less known, less explored, and a bit more precarious. So I head to what I would believe would be the most precarious.
Oh, okay. I'm going to get you to make a survival check, challenge level 3, as you head to that most precarious place.
Oof. Okay.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. I like that. 3 successes.
Oh, well done.
Nailed it.
As you get there, you look around for a while at the most dangerous way, like sort of brush that leads out of the village, and you spot that there is an area where bushes have been pressed aside and some like people have traveled recently. Beyond this, do you follow it a little bit?
Yeah. Yep.
You follow it maybe 20 meters pushing out into the woods, and then you spot a hand-stitched rag that looks old, that has the approximation of like a teddy bear's face on it that's slightly torn and stuck in some brambles.
And I like pick it up, pulling it, releasing it from the thorns, my hand slightly shaking, and I turn to the others.
This is not a path that is often tread, but it is a dangerous area for children, and a child has been here. I believe we should proceed.
Yeah, I would like to try and look for a path and track it if possible.
All right. I'll get you to make a survival check, challenge level 3 for Bryn.
Ooh,
Critical success.
yeah.
Every dice of the 5.
Beautiful. 5
Hell
successes.
We needed a win.
Pushing through the woods for the next half hour or so. You follow the rough, pressed away, like the bushes torn apart, and you lead the way with your axe, cleaving away little bits of branches and driving out into the woods. And after that half an hour, you arrive at a small clearing. And you have, as it leads the clearing and sort of underbrush leads way to mud and dirt, you see that there are clearly 4 sets of footprints coming into this clearing, 2 adult and 2 small child. You also notice with that exceptional roll that the children's shoes, the soles of the shoes are full of holes and weak in fabric and, very, very poor. And there are 2 sets of tracks leading back to town. These are the adult footprints. And there are 2 sets of tracks leading further into the woods.
I'm going to say I'm smart enough to figure that out.
Yeah, you got a 5. You tracked the crap out of it. 4 people came in, 2 adults, 2 children. 2 adults went back to town, 2 children wandered out into the woods.
Bryn's looking intensely at this, and I say,
You notice something.
For enter to leave. I clench my axe really tightly, the leather of my gloves creaking on the wood, and then scream at the top of my lungs.
do it.
Up.
That was impressive.
Birds screech as they flutter off into the woods, and in response, echoing from deeper in the woods, almost in response to that howl.
I visibly start shaking.
All right.
From my belt, I take out one of the several vials that I have stored there. And it's just full of blood.
Of course it is. I didn't expect anything else.
And I pour it onto my head, rub it across my body and face, and just run towards that sound.
Okay, you just burst out into the woods.
I mean, I guess if there were to be anything that triggers you.
I'm gonna turn to you and be like, he does.
I'm going to get you making an
sometimes.
athletics check challenge.
The
level.
idea being that they'll smell the blood.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well,
I love
athletics
that.
3.
Yep.
Okay, cool. It's good to have that clarification.
Yeah,
'cause
no,
I was
he's
just
not
like,
just-
it's this thing.
He's not just
like,
insane.
It's like lotion on the skin before heading
Yeah,
into
he does it.
What was my challenge level?
Challenge level 3.
Fuck it, I destiny rolled.
Destiny, yeah.
Destiny
Okay.
point, so 3.
Get through.
You push through. So you'd only failed by 1, but you make it. Okay. You push through, and branches whip against his flesh, and you see like little cuts open up and blood comes down. But he basically breaks a path out through the woods.
Yeah. We're chasing after him.
At a distance, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you also make a survival check again for tracking out of this area?
What is with my rolls?
That was awful. Critical fail. You did get a critical success.
He's got off in the wrong
At least
direction.
it's dramatic.
And that is exactly what's happened. So, basically, Bryn has, in the moment of that wolf howl, you are running directly for the sound of the wolf howl. Mm-hmm. But the tracks of the children went off in a different direction.
Cool.
I will have noticed that, right?
I'll get you to make a survival check and
Yeah.
see if you notice.
Yeah, okay. Challenge level
3.
3.
Okay, so you notice the tracks of the children lead off a different way.
Bryn! Bryn, don't run off so quickly. You're being rash.
Bloodlust.
Helga, I don't know how you contain this beast, man, but the children went this way.
Okay. We follow the children. He's got his own thing. He'll be fine.
Okay, so you're just
He does this every
you're
Tuesday.
Gonna split the party?
I'm sorry to split the party.
I think we're splitting the party.
It's bloodlust.
Okay.
He's chasing the wolf howl, and we're
At
like,
least you generally got good tracking, so you might be able to find your way back.
Well, when I whistled to you before, that's like a whistle I have for you too. So like if we're lost, I can whistle to you and you know where you're
cool.
at.
We follow the tracks of the children.
You guys head forth, and about 10 minutes passes of this. Like, occasionally you hear a howl of wolves and keep like echolocating closer and closer. And you both encounter something different. Bryn bursts into a clearing, looking around madly, and he sees something a little bit odd. There is the stump of a tree in the clearing, as well as a neat pile of logs. And in the stump of the tree, there is an axe embedded in the stump, but no one around to claim it. And the sounds of wolf howling is closer. For the others, you reach a small patch, a small clearing, where the footprints begin to become almost impossible to track. In front of you, you spot. I'll make you get. No, you spot this actually. So in the middle of the clearing, that's flutter off as soon as you get there, was a group of about 6 or 7 birds pecking at the ground. And as they disappear, you see the similar sights of mouldy, stale breadcrumbs left. There are a handful of them left as birds pick and eat them and fly away.
Cool. I think that's an interesting place to sort of wrap it up, and as the mystery will proceed in the next episode. Cool episode 1. I think we certainly hit that tone. But until next time,
It's Space Marine Hoedown.
this is really fun. We're continuing live. We're doing 2 episodes in the one stream. So if you ever want that real feel free to join us in the live streams. But
And if you're new to our live streams, you're probably going, wait, why are they stopping? And then what's going? It's
you know,
fine.
because then we sign off on YouTube and then we start shouting, "Don't worry, Twitch, we're still here. Don't worry." You know,
Yeah,
so-
there's more. There's
Yeah.
more. We just take a little short break and then
Yeah.
we'll get back into it.
That's it. But thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe and all the YouTube things.
Bye.
Bye.